1961 now, on the 1st of October, officially, the trusteeship agreement is ceased to exist, and at the same time, the former Southern Cameroons also ceased to exist and became West Cameroon, one of the states within the Federal Republic of Cameroon, two-state federation, East Cameroon and West Cameroon. Now, West Cameroon will actually get a lot of political power. Mateuna. If you go for that federal constitution, the West Cameroon House of Assembly, it will get what we call and say a veto power. Veto power now very powerful tool for get them in the political circle, in the political arena. Now make I explain something for now. The Federal Assembly of the Federal Republic of Cameroon, it will seat 50 members, 50. Out of those 50 members, 40 of them, they will come out from East Cameroon, where they're the Francophone zone. And then the other 10 members of the assembly, they will come out from West Cameroon. Okay? Now, according to the Federal Constitution of Cameroon, anything when it comes to the law of the country, it must get the approval of the majority of the members of the West Cameroon House of Assembly in order for that bill or law to be passed and be legal. Make I explain them in simple lay terms. Now, if they will bring a proposal or a bill for debate them in the Federal Assembly, okay, just imagine, say, 50 members, they debate that bill. You get 40 of those members of the House, now Francophones. If all the 40 members of the Francophones, they vote for that bill, you only require 6. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You only need 6 members of the West Cameroon House of Assembly for vote against that bill, and their vote is being more important, more powerful than all the other 40 Francophone members of parliament. You see the power? You see the power where Anglophones will get them for the Federal Assembly? That is a lot of power. Wait, Mr. Wetty, they will cripple anything and everything in the country if Anglophones they decide. All they need now a majority of the Anglophones members of the House of the Federal Assembly. All you need is 5 or 6 of them for go against that bill, and the bill becomes nothing. It no matter if the rest of the House of Assembly they vote in favor of that bill. If you get 4 members from West Cameroon and 40 from East Cameroon, it means say 44 members of the Federal Assembly they vote in favor of that bill. Only 6 from the West Cameroon House of Assembly, it will torpedo the bill. It will send them to the bin, destroy them, dirty the bill. Because of the law, how the federal constitution it will be written. Say, wait, any amendment to the law of that country, it must be accepted by the majority of West Cameroonian members of the Federal Assembly, and it must also be accepted by the majority of the East Cameroonian House of Assembly. Where it means say, as long as the Anglophone Cameroonians they get a majority in any direction, that's all you need. So it means say the Anglophone members of that Federal Assembly, they get the ultimate power for decide what goes on and what goes where in the Federal Assembly. Because the Assembly, now them being at the judiciary branch of the government, now them be charged with making the laws of the country. Now them write the laws, debate the laws, vote on the law. If the law pass, and then they go forward them on to the president. President just needs to sign them, it becomes law. Now, that is the power, the veto power, where the Anglophones will get them for the Federal Assembly. Now, because of the Anglophone inability for work together for look at their own collective interest and protect their collective interest, they create multiple political parties. Foncha get it on, Endele get it on, Muna get it on, this one get it on. They create all those political parties now, and they start fight amongst themselves. They were not fighting for the collective interest of the Anglophones. They were fighting for their personal interest. And because they lose sight of their own collective interest, of their own similarities or which way they get in common, their own commonalities, they lose sight of that. Now, why that way? It will be easy for President Amadou Ahidjo for use them a play tabala. Politics is a game of interests. President Amadou Ahidjo get his own interest, and he use the political know-how for manipulate and bamboozle una politically. It is legal. It is legal. Now, as I don't explain that for una, the federal house members from West Cameroon, they get the veto power. Now, una fit explain for me how it will be possible for the federal constitution to be disbanded without the assistance of the West Cameroonian members of the assembly? How is that possible? It is not. It was not possible for do away with the federal structure without the acceptance and the vote by the Anglophone, the West Cameroon members of the assembly. Now, you could get some people, they want for bamboozle una, fool una, talk all kinds of stupidity and nonsense. They will tell una, say this, so, Ahidjo be do this, Ahidjo be do that. So I don't even hear someone they go as far as for lie. Say, Ahidjo be threatening the Anglophone federal members of the Federal House of Assembly for them for vote for dismantle the federation. Remember, these are exactly the same people where they pack their bags them, come out from Enugu, come back inside Cameroon. Okay? Now the same people that way, they don't fear the whole Nigeria. They don't fear the whole British system. Because the British, they be advised Southern Cameroons for vote for join Nigeria. Now why that way? For that Fumban conference, when they go discuss the constitution of the Federal Republic of Cameroon, France will provide advice and assistance to La République du Cameroun and Amadou Ahidjo. The British were absent. The British did not attend the Fumban conference. They don't get an interest because they be advise the former Southern Cameroons for join Nigeria. And the former Southern Cameroons, they deny, they tell the British, say, go to hell. So these were not people who could be easily manipulated, who could be told what to do. Okay? Now them take their food, come out from the Enugu House of Assembly for Nigeria against the whole Nigerian state and against the wishes of the whole British Empire. Those parliamentarians, they take their food, come out for Enugu. But now when they reach for Cameroon, mere Amadou Ahidjo, where he qualification as primary school teacher, now Amadou Ahidjo now, if he threaten the Anglophone members of the House of Assembly to do what they did not want to do, come on, use your brains. These people, they willingly, deliberately gave up their powers to President Amadou Ahidjo. Now them disband the federal system. Make una not ever hear those lies where Anglophones they tell una. Now Anglophones, they campaign for disband the federal system. For 1972, they go out onto the field. Whether na Endele, Muna, to John Foncha, to Professor Fonlon, all of those people, they were on the field campaigning for one Cameroon. Don't forget also to say, before the 1972 referendum, for 1966, these same people, them, John Foncha, Endele Muna, and all of these Anglophone political elites, they deliberately, willingly disband their political parties for accept one party rule inside Cameroon. Yes, when I go talk saying Ahidjo to be fool them or Ahidjo to be threaten them for disband their own political parties, These people, one of the reasons, make una understand the political calculation of their time. I need to talk this one for blame some person or the other. In order to understand what was going on, you get to look at inside and outside forces of influence at that time. I don't already talk about this issue of Nigeria. If you look at Biafran War for Nigeria, start from 1967, end from 1970, it played an outside role in making them accept for disband the federalism or federal structure, because the BCC federalism it no work next door to them for Nigeria. It played a role. But internally, one of the biggest major factor, now the fact say all those political parties, the way Anglophones will create them, it will bring about serious infighting. Serious infighting where they will even try for, they will plan for assassinate each other. They don't already make attempts on each other, their lives. Serious infighting within the Anglophone political elite in 1960s, between 1961 and 1966. Only 5 years. Now, because of all that infighting, from Foncha, Endele, Muna, they be constantly write to Yaoundé, to President Amadou Ahidjo, they beg say make us separate fight. They fight now every day, they quarrel like Banya for house. So when it become to that level, President Amadou Ahidjo tell and say, why not just dissolve all the political parties then, and then fall under one political party, and then all we will rule under the one political party. That was a compromise. They all accepted. All of them accept. All. They accept and they can't join one party system inside Cameroon. They dissolved their political parties from 1966. Make Anglophone, they can't tell which to say na Pobia or na Amadou Ahidjo. It be make them do that one. They did that voluntarily. By 1972, they go down on the field, they campaign for dismantle the federal constitution. Anglophones did that. Make una understand that one. Referendum, it take place on the 20th of May, 1972. The vast majority of Anglophones voted for join or for make Cameroon the United Republic of Cameroon. From Federal Republic of Cameroon to the United Republic of Cameroon. A unitary state. Anglophones voted for it massively. And every single Anglophone political elite campaigned for it and voted for it. And that also explains why when that bill will be tabled in the House of the Federal House of Assembly, all Anglophone MP they vote for. And that's why they were able to get the majority both in the West Cameroon House and in the East Cameroon House, where it means it was legal. Because according to the federal constitution, it must be accepted by a majority of both West and East Cameroon. That's how the federal constitution was dismantled. It was done by the Anglophones. By the Anglophones. They had the powers to stop it. They did not. Now, it's not because they lied or whatever. No. It was just a political miscalculation. What they were hoping for or banking on did not turn out to be exactly what it was. Like I don't tell you now, politics is a game of interest. And when you play a game, sometimes you get winners and sometimes you get losers. And in this particular political game where it transpired between 1960 and 1972, the Anglophones end up losers because of their own political immaturity, because of their own incompetence. They don't do political calculation. One of the things where they be supposed to do now for say, okay, maybe we write them down into law. Say this referendum, we could get now 2 referendum. That could have been an option. We could get this primary referendum, and then we could try the unitary state for maybe 10 years or 20 years. And at the end of that, we will get another referendum. If the people still want to stay as a unitary state, then it will stay. They did not put none of that clauses into the law. They just totally and completely, because of their own political interests and because of their stupidity and their incompetence, they just surrender all their power to President Amadou Ahidjo. They surrender everything to President Ahmadu Ahidjo. They take away all their veto power. They take away all the influence that they get them in the assembly, in their own. Imagine, say, when they make Cameroon a unitary state, at that time, Foncha be no say, at that time, he be being a prime minister of the whole of Cameroon, but he be also being a prime minister of West Cameroon or something like that. So at that time, you get two prime ministers, you get prime minister for East Cameroon, prime minister for West Cameroon, and then you get president for the whole country or something like that, the way the system will be run. So now, Ahidjo be say and say this so, or Foncha, he go be a prime minister and all of those things, he see his own political positions where he go occupy them. But he not see the powers where they surrender to the central government. They take away all their veto power. They take away all the influence where they get them, the powers they had. They surrender everything to Ahidjo. And then come now, about a decade later, from 1972 to 1984 to the 1995, 2 decades later, they started talking, wow, we don't do blunder. We don't miscalculate and we fire. We mean say we misfire. And we not there for go back. Because when I be build that house, when I not put window, when I not put an exit clause. There should have been an exit clause in that referendum. And if there was one, and when you put an exit clause, in every contract where you write them, you're supposed to get terms and conditions in case the marriage no work. In case the situation is not turn out for the way you want them, there should be an exit clause. There should have been an exit clause. But they don't put them. Might give you an example of what they could have put in the constitution in the unitary state. Yes, they be accept for vote for unite as one United Republic of Cameroon. But you could have put in the constitution, you could have said to Ahidjo, for example, back then you said, President Ahmadu Ahidjo, listen, me, I will support you for this referendum on one condition. What is that condition? The condition is that in the law and in our campaign, we will campaign to our people that this referendum is on a trial basis only. On a 10-year trial basis or 20 years trial basis. At the end of those 10 years and at the end of those 20 years, there must be another referendum. And you get to write the words exactly as you want to make it be. No talk say there will be. No talk say there shall be. Talk say they must be. So we mean say na law. We mean say the state by law it must fulfill that obligation. Say there must be another referendum that will be of these two questions that will be voted only by the Anglophone Cameroonians. And if the majority of Anglophones still agree, say they want to stay for this union, then they can stay. But there was no exit clause. There was none. You just surrender all your power. With that, when I not even cough, when I just go surrender everything, that veto power, gone. Everything, gone. House of Chiefs, House of this and that. All the positions we want to get them, we want to surrender them all to the central government. How stupid. And then when I want come, when they call when Anglophones, when they vex, that was the worst political miscalculation of the century. You give up and give away all your powers and get nothing back in return. Only because they will be fearful of their own life. And now who be the threatening una? Now Anglophone versus Anglophone. Endele be there for Foncha neck. Foncha there for Muna neck. Muna there for Endele neck. And round you go. The same thing they happen today. Ayabacho is there for Sako neck. Or na Eric Tato. Or na which other one. They there at each other's necks. They there at loggerheads. There can never be a consensus between Anglophones. Why is that? Are we a cursed people? We've been a people the way we not fit ever get which way we want because we not be united. First of all, we don't know which way we want. So even if they give we which way we need, we not know we say we don't already get them. So now we will go fight for destroy them. Like all the beautiful schools they will get them. From Sase, Ombe, Our Lady of Lords, St. Beat, all of those colleges them, all of those infrastructure, University of Boya, University of Bamenda, ENS, Bambly, CAS, Kumba, CAS, Bambly, all of these institutions them. What have we done with it? Burn them to the ground. Make your territory ungovernable. Una go dig up the roads. Una kill una mami them. Una kidnap them for ransom. Una bury them alive. Because you are a confused people. You don't know what you want. So you can never be satisfied. And there goes exactly why the United Kingdom, if you look at these people and it talks that they are not viable to be independent. They must be ruled by other people. You will be ruled by Nigeria or you will be ruled by Cameroon because you cannot be left on your own. You cannot manage your own affairs. And since 1950s to 2022, that has not changed. My dear brothers and sisters, Anglophones, they curse we, not curse. That has not changed. We know if we work together. We not get nothing where we fit see and say this on our collective interest. This make we fight for that collective interest. We can't. Now curse. What is wrong with us? We did for assess this. Why all these lies? All the manipulation. Why? Just because we cannot work together? And then when they call we Anglophones, we na vex? You vex weti? Do we not behave like fools? On the international scene? On the national scene? We take away our veto power. We dash Cameroon government. We'll go dismantle the federal structure. Come back now. 30 years later, we'll get nostalgia. We want to go back to a time that used to be. We want to go back to what used to be, to what was. But it's too late. When I build house without door, without window, lock on ourselves inside, it's called a prison. As the way the law for country be written right now, there is Anglophones have no power because they gave it up. Deliberately, willingly. And then make a touch small on this aspect. You get this thing where some person can't tell me say this so if no be Amber, we will not forget a special status. Can you imagine? I ask you say, so for you, the biggest achievement, and according to you, now that one na achievement, special status, right? I ask you one question, you're confused. I ask you, say, you get the special status at what cost? Because according to you, because my explain something for now. Nobody say special status no fine. That's not the point of what I'm saying. Okay? It they like some person they glad say it they so it get new car. That's fantastic. It's good to buy a car. You need a car for transport, for ease your life, for make your life easier, safe, and all of those things then. For transport goods, family members go to work, drop your kid off for school. That's fantastic. Me I get moto, and I encourage every single person if you afford that for also buy moto. But when some person can't tell me say countryman I get moto, that's fine. But the next question is, at what cost? How much the motor cost you? Because if you can't tell me say countryman see my new motor I buy them, and then I ask you say, well, how much did you pay for it? They say no, I exchanged the motor for my house. So your house, where it be worth about 100 million, you exchange them for motor, where that motor it be worth about 10 million. Is that smart? That's stupid. At what cost? Yes, when I get a special status, at what cost? But then again, it makes sense. Because the people, the way they talk that one, where they be happy about the special status and they be very, very okay with the cost where Anglophones, they don't pay for get the special status. Those people then, now the people, the way they be, the political elites, now the political class, when they talk about the special status, when I don't see the Northwest Regional House of Assembly, right? For Northwest, when I see the House of Chiefs, right? Those are the political elites. When I show me one ambassy, no white last, where it there for that group, for House of Assembly, for Regional Assembly for Northwest or for Southwest. When I show me one ambassy, no white last, where it there now a member of the House of Chiefs for Northwest or for Southwest. Now show me one. But now who did he die? Now who did they kill him? The people that like Madame Ayafo Florence, where did they catch Okada for go buy Jama for market? If they no buy Jama for market that day, you pick they no go chop. On your way to go buy the Jama, they catch it, they cut the neck. That one they call and say it's collateral damage. But they don't make me a president of the House of or Regional House of Assembly. That's fine. That was good. Madame Ayafo had to die. That is the price you have to pay to get the House of Chiefs. At what cost? At what cost? That is the question. Yes, the special status is good, but at what cost? At the cost of the education of 60-something thousand Anglophone children? At the cost of destroying all those institutions of higher learning in the Anglophone zone? At the cost of killing 30,000 Anglophones? At the cost of displacing 2 million Anglophones? Destroying properties, destroying the CDC, Pamol, destroying roads, destroying hospitals, burning down churches, kidnapping for ransom, drug taking, raping people, unwanted pregnancies. At what cost? The cost is too high. If I think go back from 1990s or for 2015, take away one special status, put them for being, and then give me back all those people the way they don't kill them, I will take the people. Bring back the schools, bring back education, bring back the roads, bring back the development will be there for the Anglophone zone before ambassador terrorism. It's better.